Hey, welcome to the Android channel, and today I'm going to show you a little trick. If your device, your tablet, your phone is a little slow and you're thinking, okay, it's not usually this slow, I don't understand why everything is, at really that slow, sluggish speed. Um, it's the fact that apps in Android, a lot of apps actually continue running in the background when you use them. So what it does is that after a certain time, you'll notice that a lot of the apps are just running in the background, and even though you're not using them, they're still there. And so, is there a way to actually stop them? Yes, there is. First of all, if your phone or your tablet or Android device is slow, you should actually shut it down and restart it. That's the first thing you should do. A lot of the sluggishness and the problems will tend to arise with time, with the fact that your device, if it stays open all the time. I've got an Android tablet. Basically, I would say that I never shut it down. It goes in sleep mode, but I basically leave it on almost like 24 hours a day. So what happens is, after a while, often we do that with our phones also. After a while, a lot of stuff will accumulate. A lot of problems can happen in the Android operating system. Apps that you've opened yesterday are still running in the background. So first things first, of course, you should shut down and restart. After you restart, if you continue having some of the problems, some of the apps that you actually download or try wants to basically run all the time in the background. And some of those apps are still, when you turn back your phone on, will usually kind of turn on while you're, actually starting your device, and they're going to start up. So if you want to see apps that are running, or if you want to close them down, what you could do is go into your settings. Now you should have something called settings, or something that looks like a little settings pinwheel. If you don't find it on one of your own screens, go into the little dots to get all the apps and search for the settings, which either looks like this or might look like a little pinwheel. Like here at the right, you see these little yellow and kind of grayish wheels. So these bring you to the settings of your device. There are two types of settings on my device. Some devices have only one, so depending on your device, you'll find your different settings, and go specifically to the part of the settings that are called apps, and you'll click on those apps. Here you'll see the downloaded apps, how much they use, basically, and so you can see and have information on all the apps that are presently installed. And one of the things you might see is force stop. When an app can be force stopped, it means that it is basically using some information and actually working on your device with your device at this time. So if you can force stop something, it means that it's running in the background. So basically be careful not to force stop everything, but if you have some apps that you actually don't really need to be running, for example, Angry Birds here, if I click, it tells me I can force stop. Why? Because I played Angry Birds a little earlier. So what I'll do is click force stop. It's going to say, do you want to really force stop the app? I click OK. And you see that now it's grayed out, which means that it is now stopped and not using any of the Android device resources. So that's an interesting way of kind of, putting down the different devices you have and saying, well, okay, all the apps I'll just shut down the apps that I'm not using and try to get the minimum apps working basically. So all the apps you don't need, you can force stop. Be careful, some apps that are installed will basically need to are needed to work. So some of the apps that you can stop will actually make your Android device kind of not work very well. So be careful with that and make sure that all the apps that you don't need are force stopped. Some Android devices sometimes have a section called running apps. If you have an older version, for example, of Android, you might have a section called running apps, and that is where the apps that are actually working in the background are located. So you can also try it with that, see what are running apps, and shut down whatever is running that you basically don't really need. And that should actually improve and give you more power in your device. So if it's sluggish, try turning down and force closing some of the apps that are running. If you don't know what an app, if you're running into an app that you just don't know what it is and what it does, there's a good chance that you might be better leaving it on, because it might actually make your device work kind of awkwardly. But hey, you can try it, and if it doesn't work well, all you have to do is just restart your device anyway, and everything's going to come back to normal. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to kind of make your device a little faster. Some Android devices are horrible, and basically the CPU in your device is very important, the processor and the speed of the processor. And try to keep the apps to a minimum. If you have apps that you don't use anymore, I would suggest that you actually uninstall them. And if you don't know how to do that, it's very basic. I'll show you a little tutorial. Just look at the videos I have. So if you enjoy our videos, click the subscribe button. If you have any comments, questions, let us know, and hope you enjoy our videos and that you come back to this Android channel. Bye bye.